Moving on to a very, very intriguing game in not only AFC playoff picture, but really maybe looking ahead towards seeding. It's going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos are going to be 3-point favorites. The over-under is going to sit at 45.5, plus 150 for Jacksonville, minus 175 for Denver. Raider Jim, your thoughts? Jacksonville heading to Mile High.
Yeah, now on NBC this morning, I was hearing there was all kinds of weather hitting the West Coast and the Rocky Mountains and all that, but it doesn't show that there's going to be anything happening in Denver this coming weekend, which I guess is a good thing. It'll be a dry game. However, playoff implications for those Jacksonville Jaguars, like you said, where are they going to end up? How well are they going to be seated? And Denver, they're just kind of like sitting in the catbird seat, just waiting to see how it all plays out. However, again, we just got done saying earlier, Trevor Lawrence having a fantastic game last week. That was like one for the record books for everybody. And he's got to be riding pretty high. Going up against a really, really good defense, I'm not going to take anything away from the Bronco defense, except they are middle of the road when it comes to the pass. That's the weak part of their defense. They're 16th, but they're number 2 against the rush. They're number 5 overall, but they're number 16 against the pass. And if the Jaguars have a good scheme going on, and if they can give Trevor Lawrence some time, and even when he's unorthodox or a little bit rattled, somehow he makes things happen. And I think this is going to be a much closer, much better game than anybody would ever think from the Jacksonville Jaguars. -3 is the line. Give me a half a point. Give me Jacksonville plus 3.5. Over under 45.5. Denver doesn't score a lot, but I have a feeling that Jacksonville will score this game. And so give me over 45.5 on this one. But I think we're going to see a very, very good football game. Jacksonville defense is really going to have to step it up, though. And that's their weak spot too. But we'll see. I really think Jacksonville is the favorite in this one.
Yeah, I kind of see it the same way. I will say, though, I was very impressed with Bo Nix against Green Bay. He made some throws late in that game that those are the throws that are going to turn me into a believer when it comes to January. Those are, they were very, very impressive. Excuse me, but I'm with you here. You know, when you see a 3-point spread, it's just a matter for me which way I'm going with the half a point, and I am going to take it on the plus side here. I like what Jacksonville has put together. Generally, I'd like to fade Trevor Lawrence to have back-to-back good games, just because he seems to be so inconsistent, especially going up against this defense. But I think Liam Cohen has really unlocked something with Trevor Lawrence. I don't know if this is second or third different coach. I know Doug Peterson, I think, had his hands on him first. There may have been someone before him. But it does seem like this has fully stuck with Jacksonville. I would not be surprised to see this be, a mile-high classic where it, finishes 3 seconds left. Here's a 55-yard field goal to win it for Denver. And, it's mile high, so you get an extra 5 or 6 yards of based on the altitude. And they win by 3. So, with that, give me that Jacksonville plus 3.5. Got to take the hook when it's offered to you. In terms of the over-under, though, I am going to also go over as well. Again, I do believe Trevor Lawrence is playing very, very good football. And the Denver defense, as good as they are, it's been a heck of a run for them. I feel like I don't know. I feel like back-to-back weeks going up against pretty darn good offenses, like Green Bay last week, almost got them. So give me the over 45.5 and Jacksonville plus 3.5. Looks like we did lose Raider Jim, but that's okay. That happened last time, and he was able to pop back in momentarily. So we will wait for his arrival as there he is. Bring the next game on. There you are. Can you hear me, sir?
I can. Sorry about that.
No problem. No worries at all. Perfect timing as we get ready to dive into the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, this is for the first time. A lot of first, no Patrick Mahomes going forward. This game, we're talking Kansas City in December, and it has no playoff implications. But look, the money is still green if you win it. Kansas City -3.5 as they head to Tennessee. Probably one of the few teams Kansas City is going to be favored against on the road. The Tennessee Titans, the over-under is 38, -185 for Kansas City on the money line, and +160 for Tennessee. Raider Jim, your thoughts? Kansas City, 3.5-point favorites heading up against the Titans.
It's the Gardner Minshew era starting all over again. Here we go. This guy is amazing, isn't it? The way he always shows up somewhere. He was wearing silver and black last year. For goodness sakes, I mean, you got to hand it to the guy. And I think he's real happy no matter what uniform he's wearing, and he gives you 100% when he gets out there. They're playing against possibly right there with the Jets and the Raiders and the Giants, one of the worst teams in the NFL. And that's why I'm going to make this my upset pick of the week. Ooh. Give me Tennessee +4 on this one. They're like, hey, we don't got to worry about these guys anymore because they're playing beat up, battered, and probably discouraged. Kansas City will probably come out a little bit fired up. But, really that mental side of it, if you're Tennessee, you sit your guys down and go, this is your chance. This is your Super Bowl. Beat these guys. And I think they're going to go out, put together a pretty good game. Give me Tennessee +4 on this one. Kansas City is just so beat up, and Tennessee just has to put one good game together, and I think they will do it. Over-under is 38. Yikes. Gardner Minshew again. I mean, it's not like it's the offensive juggernaut out there. So give me a 0.5 point and give me under 38.5.
Yeah, this is very interesting, obviously, because we don't know we've seen pretty much every team play with nothing to play for in the past 10 years. We've never seen Kansas City with nothing to play for. I mean, and obviously, look, I understand there have been week 18 games, but you know what I mean. So I don't really know what to expect. And I would expect Andy Reid to have these guys ready to play, but at the same time, I think in that locker room for every single one of those players, anything less than a Super Bowl was a disappointment. And we're talking about week 16.
You're not wrong.
And they're eliminated. I just, as a mental side of it, it's got to be to be like, kind of look in the mirror and be like, it's one thing to be eliminated in the playoffs. I get to go home to my family and, it sucks, but whatever, I'll be in Puerto Vallarta in 24 hours if I want to. This isn't the case. I don't know. Again, I'm not terribly confident about this, but I like Tennessee +3.5 here as well. I just think it is going to be a team that is full of veterans, a team that expected to, at the very least, be in the playoffs, and to now essentially be staring down 3 meaningless games in their first meaningless game is, I mean, it's not even a spoiler opportunity. I mean, you're playing one of the worst teams in the league. And I don't know. It's very interesting. I know Gardner Minshew is going to be ready to roll just because that's how he is. I do like the over here because, again, I think Tennessee, look, they're a long ways away, but I've seen glimpses from Cam Ward, and I don't want to say, this is the Bryce Young situation where, maybe year 2 he'll finally figure it out. I don't know. I wasn't very high on Cam Ward from the beginning, but Tennessee over the past few weeks, they've at least been watchable. And I don't know, as you mentioned, this is a huge opportunity for that team, that young team, to really make something happen. And at the very least, look, they can say we beat the Chiefs, the defending AFC.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah. And you know what? 10 years from now, no one will really want to fact check them or whatever. Again, very, very different Chiefs team, but it's still the same uniform. It's still that same kind of mystique. I just don't know what to expect from Kansas City. I could very well see them all come out and say, you know what? We're going to play with so much pride, it blows your mind, which would be frustrating if I was a Chiefs fan, because it's like, where's that been all season? But I don't know. I think they're going to be a little zombie-like. They're not used to this. So Tennessee plus 3.5, and the over 40, or excuse me, my notes just, there we go. Over 38.